is a bit of a strange one. It's a really nice piece to play. The most difficult thing about it is twofold. Firstly, it's got semiquavers, which you can probably see. If you look at some of the notes, they've got two lines coming from the tail, and that means semiquaver. So a semiquaver is, well, it's one quicker than a quaver. So you've got a semi-brief, which is 4 beats, just a round circle. You've got a minim, which is 2 beats, and that's a round circle and a line. Crotchet is 1 beat, and it's a round circle coloured in the line. Quaver is a half beat, and that is same thing as a crotchet, but it's got a little flick at the top. And then you've got a semiquaver. Semiquaver is a quarter of a note. So you need to have 4 semiquavers to make a whole. So it's a very fast note, and you've got quite a few in this piece. Now you don't have to worry too much about it. We're going to work through the rhythm now, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't worry too much. And the other thing alongside that is something called an agogic accent. Now you've probably heard of the word accent. It means a note which has to be emphasised, and it's you've usually got like a kind of a tiny decrescendo above the notes, just kind of like a hairpins going down. But an agogic accent is different to that. It is just a straight line above the note. Now you've got 3 accents. You've got staccato, which is just a dot, makes it bouncy and short. You've got legato, I suppose, which is very smooth. And then you've got agogic in between the two, which is a line. And that means it's not smooth, but it's definitely not short and abrupt either. It's kind of in between. So if we play just on an open A string, we just play a few notes. So let's play 4 A's. Okay, so that's legato. Now play them again and play them staccato this time. Okay, so now to get an agogic accent, all you do is you almost play legato, but you just slightly, very slightly separate each note. So it's not all one note, it's slightly separate. So you're making it a bit rough. So here we go. So I don't know if you can hear it. So I'll play staccato again. And then an agogic accent. So maybe a good way to do it actually is do a whole bow. So just do a whole bow in one bow stroke of A's, and this would be legato. And then if you had agogic accents, you would separate the notes. Yeah. So that's an agogic accent, and you've got to work on it quite a lot. So you're not suddenly stopping the bow. You're kind of fading away each note. So it still carries on before the next note starts. That's a good way of thinking about it. Anyway, right, so if we go back to the beginning of the piece, it is in B flat major. It's got B flat and it's got an E flat. It's not really got too many accents or too many flats or sharps in the piece, so that does help. But because it's got an E flat, you have to remember throughout the whole piece, whenever you have to play an E flat, a high E flat, you have to use your 4th finger on the A string. Never open E, it will really sound a bit weird. So always remember, high E flat, 4th finger on the A string. Okay, so we're starting on the A string, and we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. So just walking up the stairs, okay? So. So that's the first 4 bars. Now, regarding the distance between the fingers, if you just look at my fingers, I've got the first finger all the way back at the base of the violin. I've got a gap to my 2nd finger, a gap to my 3rd finger, and then my 4th finger, which is playing E flat, is very close. So that's the pattern for the A string, okay? So let's just play that again, and don't worry about anything else for now. Just get the notes right. So now the rhythm is pretty straightforward apart from the first two notes of bar 2. Okay, you've got a dotted quaver, which means you add on half of the note to it. So if it's a quaver, you add on half of quaver, so you add on a quarter, so it'd be 3/4. The note that's 3/4. And then you've got, if you can see, it's got two lines to following E flat, so it'll be a semiquaver, so very quick. So it will be this rhythm. I'll just play it a few times. Okay, if you just try that with me on an open A. Right, so now, if we just skip the first two notes of the piece, and we just go straight to there, and it'll be 3 and 4, so very close. Okay, so 1, 2. Do one more time. 1, 2. Okay, and that's it. Now, that comes again a little bit later. It comes again in bar 13 and bar 14, and bar 17 and bar 21. So it comes a few times, but we have covered it now. So just remember, it's ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba, da, ba. If you're really struggling, just think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first note is 1, 2, 3. And the second note is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da, 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 da. Okay, carrying on from bar 5, it starts from a down bow. And again, we're just continuing the same fingers that we've done so far. So just remember the gaps between the fingers. Now play B flat again, first finger, and we're going quickly up to a 4-finger E flat. Okay, so just one more time, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, and now with the crescendo, so it's getting louder to the E flat. Okay? Okay, just try it again. Really press down on your first finger to get a good sound, okay? Great, and now carrying on from that E flat, and it's just going down, 4th finger, 3rd finger, 2nd finger, still on the A string, we've not actually moved string yet, okay? And then D, and now our first note on the new string is an F, all the way back at the base of the violin, all the way back there, so. Okay, and then back to the A string again. Okay, so if I go from that run up, okay, the second beat of bar 8. 1, 2, 1. Okay, so play that through with me now. We're going to go right from the beginning, from the first line to the end of the second line, okay? And I'll tell you what, we'll just try and get the bowing right. We won't really think about anything but the bowing, the tuning, and the rhythm. Okay, so no accents yet. 1, 2. Good. Now you might have spotted something that I did there. I did it in bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In bar 5, I did a retake. In my part, there is a down bow for that C at the start of bar 5. It might not be in your part. If it's not, don't worry. If it is, stop the C, the bar before, just a little bit early, and then go back up to the top. Okay, so it will just be. Okay, don't try and make the sound constant. Don't rush and go, because you'll make a whole sound like I just did there. Okay, so just make it a smooth detach. Okay, and right now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to add in these agogic accents. Okay, so remember, you're just trying to make a slight detachment, so it's still very smooth. It's definitely not a sound. It's not stopping suddenly. It's just kind of fading out. Okay, so 1, 2, 2, 2. I'll go again. From the beginning, sorry, I completely missed the retake. 1, 2, 2, 2. So you would have noticed a few things there. One, to do the agogic accents, which isn't too much, don't worry too much about it, you have to make everything else really smooth, okay? Because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. It has to be obvious. So make sure everything else is really legato, and then that will make more, it'll kind of stand out more. And one more thing, in bar 10 rather, you have got 2 staccato, okay, so they need to stand out really short, da, da. I'll just go from that bar actually to the repeat sign. 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, now we're going to carry on from bar 13. Again, this is all on the A string, so all you have to do is remember that position of your fingers. So first, right at the back, gap to the second, gap to the third, 4th finger very close. Okay, so. Okay, so pretty similar rhythm. You've got that rhythm that I mentioned, the tricky one, the dotted quaver and the semi-quaver. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So da da 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 da 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 da. So it does help to think like that. You won't have to do it all the time. It's just good to kind of train yourself in the back of your mind. But yeah, so it starts on the 2nd finger. And he's all separate, so they're agogic. And then it makes it tricky by adding in 2 slurs. Okay, so it's short-ish followed by smooth. Okay, so it's tricky. Smooth, smooth, short, short, short. Okay, now we are venturing onto the D string now, and we're actually getting quieter. So it's one of those rare occasions where going lower down is getting quieter. Usually it's the other way around. But, okay, so from bar 17, it's 3rd finger G on the D string. And then A flat, so on the same string, 4th finger, very close. And now go back onto the A string. I just want to smooth you, so it'll be 3, close to 4, onto the A string, right at the back, 1st finger, 2, 1, 1, in the same bow, 4th finger A flat on the D string, okay, and now carry on the A string, 1, 4th finger E flat, 2, 3, very close 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so play this right at the point because it's very quiet and it doesn't need a lot of pressure. I'm just going to go from 17 to play it through to you, okay? So, and now staccato. Okay, so remember that staccato. Staccato. Okay, now it changes, it gets louder, not too loud though, don't overdo it, and it'll be in open A. Okay, and at this point we've got a crescendo, so we're getting louder towards the end of the piece, and it's in bar 23, and we do on to the E string now, so 2, 1st finger F, 3rd finger A, open E, and then F. Try that again from bar 23, so 2nd finger C, 1st finger on the E string F, back to 3rd finger D, open E, and then 1st finger. Okay, so it is getting louder there. You see I use quite a lot of bow. And now just going down to the end, it'll be fourth finger E flat, third finger D, 2, 1, 0, 1. So if I run from bar 23 to the end, getting louder and louder, so using more bow and a bit more pressure, but again, not heavy. It's just, it's quite, you know, it's not really, it's not a very serious piece. It's quite jovial, really. So from 23, 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, and yeah, that's about it really. It's not an easy piece. What I recommend doing is listening again and again and again to the very start of this clip, and just listen to the recording that I just played at the start, and just get the rhythm right, okay, and then try and play with me when you're comfortable doing that. But remember, it's pretty much all on the A string, so the best thing you can do is just remember, first finger right at the bass, second finger gap, third finger gap, fourth finger very close. If you can remember that, it will really, really help out with this piece. Okay, and that's that. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.